Did you know Charlie Kirk is a racist? Let's get into it.
Let's reverse engineer. Why is it like in the state of New York, there are more black babies being murdered in the womb than are alive? So the words of Margaret Sanger has turned out to be prophetic. And also the abortion agenda is a multi-billion-dollar industry.
So guys, what's up? So as I don't, if you can kind of tell, there's a little bit of I wouldn't necessarily call it a shakeup, but a little bit format is a little bit different.
You kicked me off the show last week.
I did. But
I'm back.
But welcome back, Carter. Glad to have you.
What's up?
So usually what we do, guys, is that I do my monologue and then we'll go into it with unscripted. And but obviously because of the recent unimaginable, just a blow that obviously not only that we as a family that we have a loss, but the entire country, the entire world is mourning an incredible loss. And we just wanted to do things different in order to honor Charlie Kirk and just give some words on what this young man, what this man of God, what this husband, what this father truly meant to us and the world as a beloved leader, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, so a representation. It's a sad day when an individual, regardless of if you believe what he's saying, don't believe what he's saying, would go out to voice his opinion, and he'll be murdered for it in this here United States. They talk about the fact that Charlie Kirk was a racist, and that is supposed to justify him being murdered, and for us to witness his public execution, and not only witness the public execution, but the fact that the execution is all over the internet.
And it was done with his wife
and his children
and
there.
His very, very, very small children.
I remember.
Present.
I would think that in order to see something that gruesome, you would have had to dig deep through the dark web. But apparently nowadays you can just
mainstream.
Go on Twitter and go on Facebook and watch a man get shot. And get executed in front of a college campus. So.
No, but we're gonna bring it to him today. Let's just keep it real.
Keep it 100.
We're not holding back.
No sugarcoat.
But I do just want to really just just take this time, carve out this time to just really, for me personally, to say what this man, what he meant for me. So you guys, everyone who knows me, praise God, knows that I am a warrior. I fight for the precious lives of our precious unborn. I am foremost a believer, a child of God, a believer in Jesus Christ, and He is my Lord and Savior. And as I was praying on the way here to the studio, I was just in prayer and just like, Lord, I really want this to be just so authentically pure and just real. And I am most moved and devastated, to be honest, devastated. It's just this blow of just being a wife and a mother. And that is the place where it's hitting me the most. I just could not imagine just being a wife and not only losing your husband, but the father of her two little children. And it is just so layered, and it doesn't matter which way you turn, which way you slice and dissect and analyze this horrific act. It is just, it becomes more and more gut-wrenching and devastating. It is one thing for your loved one to lose a loved one, illness or whatever, but to lose your husband, your life partner, the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with, the husband of your children, and not only lose him in a unimaginable way, but to do that, to actually be there and witness it with your small children. So for that, I am just praying for Erica. She is a beautiful, beautiful, fierce warrior, and I don't want to take up too much time. I just want to speak on her amazing words that she gave a few days ago. And I was just telling some young adults in church this past Sunday that when I was watching that, she was like, for me, literally angelically beautiful. The poise, and it wasn't a hair out of place, her nails, her makeup. She literally had the glory of God just on her. And with losing someone, your husband, like that, and be there to witness that, and for her to be able to stand and her poise and then profess the gospel of Jesus Christ, there is nothing that can measure the catastrophic blow that the enemy has endured by her doing that. And that was remarkable. That was, for me, one of the most incredible things that I have witnessed in my lifetime.
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, I watched it when she gave the talk, and I think what part that got me is when she during the Charlie Kirk show, she was in the studio. Well, the part that kind of got me is when she actually touched the chair, and then he wasn't in the chair. So I think that part was pretty powerful.
Yeah.
I just think that it's unfair, and I just think it's very unfair for for folks out there who align themselves up with the thought and the theory that because a person, in your opinion, says some things that you disagree with, is an okay reason for you to think for a person to get murdered, then gloves are off.
Yeah.
Because how many things have you said, even if, let's say that hypothetically he was a racist, which he wasn't, but let's just say he was a racist, the fact that somebody could get murdered in cold blood like that, and you could justify those actions because you don't like what someone is saying, you're really putting your soul in jeopardy.
That is correct.
So that right there, to have the fortitude, and just to have the mindset that it's okay to agree with somebody getting murdered is wild to me.
That just really just lets us know that we are truly living in a godless country.
It's definitely crazy.
And
definitely the last days.
And one other thing, then we'll move on.
Yeah.
And what I have seen just being just chanted like a demonic chant or a demonic mantra is live by the sword, die by the sword.
Yeah, but that's the case, then you should be dead too.
That is correct. Because
it's because everybody, if that's the case, if that's the mantra you want to live with, then that's great. So you're calling death on your life and on your family life.
They don't understand that.
And anybody in your world who has said anything that's contrary to the word of God, if that's how you feel.
Yeah, right. So just by that, all of us would be 6 feet under.
That's correct.
Everything that you say, I vehemently disagree.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest. You guys spew so much poisonous venomous, and we can examine the fruit thereof because we have someone that was murdered, executed in front of the world. And also, really quickly, what I was going to say, the demonic chant and mantra that they've been spewing all across America, live by the sword, die by the sword, that if that's the case, the sword that he should have died by is a good tongue thrashing. Because that's all he did was used his words. And not only did he only use his words, but he gave the people that literally hated him
or disagreed
the microphone.
That's the difference. Like, so
So just in that,
at the end of the
that's
day,
the sword that he lived by.
At the end of the day, we're talking about debating. He wasn't your president of the United States.
So that's the sword that he should have been taken down. Someone that was more articulate that could have just shut him down at every turn.
Why?
But there was no one.
You know why? I'm gonna tell you why. Because the reality is liberals are afraid of facts.
Yeah.
And so the liberals are so afraid of facts that they're willing to kill over it.
That is correct.
And it's just proven. And that's been through history. Though.
That is correct.
Every great, like if you look at it through history, who killed Kennedy?
That is correct.
You know, who killed Martin Luther King?
Correct.
If you want to go through history,
that is correct.
It's all been the same playbook over and over again.
Same demonic spirit.
Same demonic spirit over and over
There's
again.
There's nothing new under the sun.
Yeah.
So let's listen, because we're gonna give it to him today. We're gonna get him with the truth. So go ahead and do your thing.
Well, no. So I'm gonna tell you. I'm driving down the street. I'm minding my own business. And a car jumps in my lane and try to cut me off. All right. I'm like, okay, let me go around because I'm trying to get to my destination. Car goes back into my lane to cut me off. Mm-hmm. Now we got a problem. Because you are trying to distract me from getting to where I gotta go.
Right.
Listen, you want to talk trash to me? I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I guess I like to say that. Why wouldn't you talk trash to me? Because I'm going to go the opposite of what you think and what you believe.
Yeah.
What gets me is I love it from the fact that I'm getting trash talk to me from people that tells me that we come from the same place. Mm. Listen, we do come from the same place. Think about this concept.
The whole thing. Yeah.
I grew up in the hood.
Yeah.
I grew up in Detroit. We do come from the same place. But if I'm telling you and I'm sitting on this side of the aisle and I'm trying to tell you, like, listen, I come from the same place you came from. I came from the same situation you came from. I came from poverty. My mom was on drugs. I lived in the projects. I had to go through C schools, the terrible schools in Detroit, Michigan.
Your life was utterly dependent on the government and handouts.
I got everything from food stamps, from government cheese, the whole, you name it. I mean, we had powdered milk. I mean, we had powdered TVs. I mean, you ain't never heard of a powdered TV. I mean, it wasn't that quite. But my point that I'm trying to make is we was broke.
Yeah,
we was so poor.
Didn't you guys borrow chicken one time?
Oh man, Ma, I used to go to the neighbors and have to ask for chicken. Like, that's crazy.
That's real talk.
Like hot dogs.
And the fact that my
point that I'm making,
go ahead.
that there is some comedy in this poverty.
Yeah.
But the point that I'm trying to make is that, yes, I did see what you've seen. I did come from where you come from. So if I'm telling you that I came from where you came from, and I'm trying to express to you that in order to become successful and to get through the things that I came from, and I'm reaching and I'm pulling the hand up, you smacking the hand.
Come on.
You will never get to where you need to go because you are blowing out the light in the candle.
That's good. Yeah. That's
the problem. You'll never get here. So if I'm telling you that my daughter, first of all, shout out to my daughter. She's my assistant. Shout out to both my daughters. Mm-hmm. They're both my assistants, but the older one, she is the president of one of the homeschool chapters
of Charliekirk.
And it's the TP.
What is it, Chan?
Turningpoint USA. Mm-hmm. She's the president. So we've traveled to Florida. We've traveled to Detroit. Mm-hmm. We traveled all over the country
to support this man.
But in these rooms, Charlie Kirk's in these rooms.
Yes,
I'm breaking bread with Charlie Kirk, his managers,
and he has afforded so many opportunities personally for our daughter.
Yeah. So my point that I'm trying to make is we're in the rooms with these people.
Yes, we are.
I'm in the room with them.
Yes, we are.
So when you talk about somebody's being racist, that's not how racism works.
But you know what's even worse is that we talk about this all the time. We talk about that we are eyewitnesses.
Yeah.
We have boots on the ground.
Yeah.
We're in the room.
Yeah.
We're at the table.
I guess you don't
but
qualify.
no one reaches out to us to ask. Hey.
I guess all the video with Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens don't count because you guys don't consider Candace Owens as black. So that don't count. all the. Did they see the screen? Where's that photo of the? Can I throw that photo up? We still got that photo. Is that photo up? With all the brothers, and we know everybody in the room. Can I post that photo?
Yeah. There we go.
Can we run that on the screen real quick?
Yeah. There we go.
So, all right. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say something here. Like. So you'll see Big Man, number 20 on there. You know him, Tate. Mm-hmm. Listen, Big Man to be on the show a couple weeks. We got him on the show. Mm-hmm. Listen, we all running the same circle.
Yep.
These are brothers. These are influencers. These are podcasters. These are individuals that's connected to Charlie Kirk. Guess what? It's all under the same umbrella.
Exactly.
But these are racist, though.
Exactly. And then this is the thing is these are a highly intelligent people, and the common denominator.
Right.
You would think I'm going to say black, right? No.
Yeah.
The common denominator is that we all started out as being staunch
Liberal.
Democrats.
Everybody
liberal.
in that picture was liberals. I once was a liberal. I once believed what you believe. I once thought, you know why I believe what you believe? Because I was emotionally immature.
Yeah.
Because what happens is the Democratic Party has always played against black people's emotions. All you have to do, think about it.
You're so emotionally compromised and
Think
weak.
about it. We are the only people in the world where you can say one word and get you off your block.
Yeah.
Think about that concept. You should take a look in the mirror and be upset with yourself for the fact that you fall for that type of stuff.
And the thing is, you know what? I'm going to push back on you because that used to be the thing. But now it's gone from that one word, the N word with the hard R. Now, heck, I want to say something else. You blow in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Everything is the wrong word.
Yeah.
Everything is the wrong phrase. It is nothing that you can't say or do that they will not attach racism to.
Let me tell you this.
It's a cop-out. It's a cowardly thing.
You like this one. Okay. I mean, I ain't gonna say his name, but I'm gonna tell you it's a family member. I'm gonna show him some love and not say his name.
If he watch the show, he's gonna know exactly who he is.
And my other cousin's gonna know who he is too. So everybody else gonna know who he is.
He's the nice one because I would say the name.
I want you to read. I want to read this text message I got the other day.
Okay.
This is good.
Okay. We're at 1.
Okay. Let me read this text message. All right. So let me tell you how this popped off.
Let me bring here. Go. Hold on. Let me. Yeah. Because we don't have up here, but I have it on my phone. Give me a second.
I want to pause it.
Yeah, you can pause it. You can pause it. Yeah.
I want to tell you how this whole thing popped off.
This is.
Yeah. So I randomly get a text message.
You have your phone or no?
Go ahead. If you ain't got it, I could tell you. I could tell the world how it popped off. So
go ahead. Yeah.
So basically, I'm getting these videos in my inbox, and all these videos I'm getting is all these shortened clips of Charlie Kirk saying something racist.
Yeah.
So if I say to the world, hey, I like apple pie if you add some ice cream to it, right? All you're hearing is add some ice cream to it.
Right.
Like you didn't hear the other parts to it.
Right.
And every video that I'm getting is just clipped up and cut. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So my question to him, before you send me all this stuff is, hey, do you know anything about Charlie Kirk? Because you keep sending me all this stuff about Charlie Kirk. You keep telling me he's racist. Have you ever followed Charlie Kirk?
Have you watched him?
Have you watched Charlie Kirk?
His entire debate.
Or are you just getting part of, what your base is telling you to do right now is to hate Charlie Kirk. So now you jumped on the bandwagon to anybody who'd say, okay, anything positive about Charlie Kirk, you're going to jump in and say that he's racist. So let me jump in with
Just like the multitude, he's being led by his nose. Another black man being emotionally compromised.
Let me see what he said. Let me tell you what he said. I'm going to read it to y'all. So y'all,
disgusting.
If I don't say the word, I'll let y'all fill in the blinks. So
it's pathetic.
I said, have you watched Charlie Kirk? He said, cuz the rhetoric is the same in everything, capitalize everything, I've watched. I got strong and unpopular views, but blank.
Oh, we should have.
That's all right. Y'all can read it. It's a family show. He said, that's a different level of ignorance. He doesn't debate with facts, but with his uneducated opinion. Right? That's what he told me.
Okay.
All right. Though it's smooth when it comes out, but it's totally... I'm going to say like I'm saying with CHITS, shits on the demographics where it lands. And then he tells me the same demographics where you come from. Oh, so don't let me forget where I come from. Yeah. I just want to let you know.
You have to put you in your place.
Put me in my place real quick.
Yeah.
Before you get it twisted. You come from the same spot,
Crazy word.
Yeah. He said, if you can sit up there and agree with any of his rhetoric, and say it's facts when it's totally not, your agreement is based on his thoughts. His thoughts, LOL. The Naga said, what's his name, Derek Chauvin?
Yeah, Derek.
Should get a new trial after we all saw what he did to George Floyd. He bringing George Floyd in this. So Charlie Kirk is so he's bringing up George Floyd. He said the Naga also said Trayvon Martin hunted down George Zimmerman. Come on, man, stop it. A MF don't have to oversaturate my brain with content for me to get a good look at their character. So I guess he never watched them, right?
And that's exactly what he's oversaturating his brain with lies.
Right. So his character was shitty as hell. I'm just gonna say it. I want to challenge you to. So I said, okay. So I heard what he had to say, and I wanted to listen to him to see was there something there. Yeah. And so what this tells me something. This tells me when I get these type of text messages that you are lost. Inside of the manipulation, the matrix, everything that they push to you, everything that they say to you, because you're spewing everything that you haven't done any details on.
That cat that you know once the truth is given to you, you'll still turn on your fellow mates and your soldiers to get jacked back in. Right. Well, that's who you are.
Let me tell you that you're funny. Let me tell you what it is. Because if you've done any level of research, you would find out that even in the George Floyd case, you would find out that what killed him was drugs in his system. Now, if you dug a little bit deeper, why would you even respect the energy in which George Floyd did? This is not the same thing. George Floyd actually,
he was a menace. He terrorized.
Tell the truth.
Okay, so I'm tell the truth. I'm so glad you brought this up, because let me tell you how Bible believing folks and that are conservative in their views and their worldview think about this. So I'm gonna be honest. So there is this dope meme going around. It looks like it's a two. Bust or statues. And then it's one of Charlie Kirk, just looking just dope and astute. And then it is, and then right beside him, it is a George Floyd bust or statue. But the one of George Floyd is having a pow, holding it to a pregnant woman's belly.
You heard about that? Did you hear about the fact that George Floyd?
No. So the reason why I didn't post it is because I'm like, you know what? Let me do the research on it. So it didn't require a lot.
Right.
And so what has been going around for ever since this whole George Floyd went around is that because he did do this, he was a part of an armed robbery among many other high level felonies. Okay, he terrorized, and he was an actual menace to society. But one of the things in the case of the armed robbery, they were saying that the woman that he actually did fact hold at gunpoint at her abdomen. But it also came out that she was not pregnant. Again, she was not pregnant, but he did hold her they broke down her door. And he held her at gunpoint at her abdomen. And so when I went and found it, because you know what? I read the police report, I read the testimonies and the eyewitness, because guess what? We love the truth.
Yeah.
But this is the man who you guys have propped up as a martyr, as your hero, and a man that actually died in the midst of... and when we will move on because we have so much to cover.
Right.
So when I think about George Floyd, the first thing I'm like, Lord, I hope he had a moment to repent.
That's correct.
And ask God to forgive him for everything that he has done.
And then stop.
Because if not, we know where he's at.
First of all, you don't want to celebrate anybody's death. Especially from an individual who haven't, and you don't know. I don't know if he had an opportunity to get right with God. But you don't want to celebrate anybody's death.
That's the one thing we did not do. We did not celebrate his death.
The other part is the fact that you can even compare his death is crazy.
Yeah.
All you're doing is comparing what the media is. You're just comparing the headlines. You're comparing the narratives in which the media is pushing out there. So you feel comfortable by saying something negative about Charlie Kirk and saying, well, what about this with George Floyd? We're talking about somebody that lost their life for simply speaking and debating other people and giving them an opportunity to debate back. But let me go back to what I said. Let me go back to what I said. Let's get to it. Let's go to what I said. So I kind of, I wanted to keep it clean. So I responded, not necessarily clean, but just try to educate him a little bit. So I wanted to respond with the text message, and this is what I said. All right, now am I able to push play?
Okay, yeah, sometimes it takes you.
All right.
Let me see. I'll do it again.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not. Yeah. Hold on. There we go. There we go. Because let me just.
I got it. So I said to him, I said, listen. I said, I want to challenge you to think differently. There you go. I want to challenge you to think differently. What if I told you I personally know him and I traveled in the same circles and have multiple mutual friends? My daughter is the president, homeschool chapter of organization Turningpoint USA. Traveled all over the country with them. What if I told you that you could be wrong? Would you be open to believing that we are all flawed? Is it possible that I wouldn't lie to you, seeing that I come from the same demographics? Since that was a point of emphasis for him. Regardless, if you like the guy, the fact that gives, regardless if you like the guy, the fact that it gives us something to fight about is the real story. It's about good and evil. If you can celebrate someone getting murdered in front of their wife and their kids and believing that they deserve to witness this because he literally practiced free speech. And you know what I said.
That ish
makes, the stuff that makes America great. The fact that we can communicate is flat out crazy. Yeah. So I challenge you to challenge your thoughts and believe that I'm the NOGGA that grew up broke, lost. So my perspective is greater than most. Now that I have experience on the other side and learned what it took to get here, I believe if you personally had a relationship with God, it will give you the gift of discernment, and only then can you see and recognize the truth. Until then, don't blow out the light.
Exactly. That's good. That's good. And all we can do is just leave that there, and we have to move on. But just the fact that, let's just use this. What I like to say, I'll bite. No matter how outrageous and just ridiculous and just stupid it is, I'll bite. So if you are claiming, if you are celebrating, and if you are the one who said, you know what, you live by the sword, you die by the sword, and this is this man losing his life in the most horrific way, then why in the hell are you guys celebrating George Floyd? Because the very things that you are accusing Charlie Kirk of is George Floyd did far, far more sinister things. Guess what? We actually have police reports. This man went around robbing, doing everything, destroying people's lives. Black people.
He wasn't robbing white people.
No, not white people.
Black people.
Was bringing.
Wouldn't even let, if George Floyd was alive, you wouldn't even let him in your house.
In your house, you wouldn't even let him trim your pull your weeds.
Come on, man, stop all that.
So come on,
wake up. Let's wake up. Stop.
Enough is enough.
It's at this point.
My Lord.
At this point, it's just getting to the point where
it's pathetic. And it's shameful.
If a white guy says
shame
the
on
truth,
y'all,
and he says that you need to start taking accountability, and it's rooted in facts, and there's some truth to it. So what if he's white?
Yeah.
Listen to the message. Sometimes, there could be. You could be wrong.
You know what? This is good. So let's show them how they're wrong. So I think because for the sake of time, let's go ahead and let's do 2.
Okay.
Yep. That's the next show. Yep.
You said the Civil Rights Act was a mistake. What did you mean by that?
Yeah, so the parts of the Civil Rights Act were great, but the way it's now being implemented to force men in female bathrooms to push forward of the trans agenda, the intent of the Civil Rights Act is way beyond what it was originally authored for.
But the intent specifically originally was to...
Well, that's interesting. So the intent and the law are two different things. So the intent was noble, which was to say that no American can be not allowed into a place of business based on the color of their skin or their ethnic heritage. Totally agreement with that. That's not what the law only did. It created a massive anti-racist DEI army that then gave us affirmative action. For example, recently Merrick Garland sued using the Civil Rights Act, saying that we cannot have voter ID in certain states because it's a violation of the Civil Rights Act. So basically what the Civil Rights Act did is that it went beyond disparate impact and then went to disparate effect. In the sense where if black Americans are not doing as well as white Americans in a certain category, you can now use the Civil Rights Act and say that's a violation of the Civil Rights Act, even though there might be other contributing factors. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's too broad, too wide, and it's now doing a lot of damage to the country. It's being used well beyond its original intent.
You said the civil.
Yeah, pause it. So this is exactly what we was talking about. This is one of the clips where it has garnered so much vitriol and hate, and one of the things that people are hanging their hats on to justify why this man was executed on a world stage in front of his wife, in front of his small children. And here we have, so this clip right here has been clipped up in like 5 seconds without not hearing the entirety and putting things in context.
You stupid cats are pushing the clips that has been clipped up, have not done any research, have not looked at it, and standing behind it. Listen, there's a guy on Facebook who sent me a clip that, not the whole clip, but piece. And then he responded with whoop when I said R.I.P. to Charlie Kirk. And you know what he's saying? This is a grown man. I think this guy got to be like 6'4". I said what I said. What? What kind of grown man responds with, I said what I said? What is that? The fact that you even saying stuff like I said what I said lets you know that you saw.
Emasculated.
You emasculated.
That's what the Democrats do to our black men.
You've been drinking soy milk with your Cheerios.
That's what the Democrats have done to our black men. They have said put them on the table and they have chopped them off. They're gone. Get them out of here.
You follow your leader. Obama said Michelle and them told me I had to be nicer to transgender.
Oh, he was. Michael. How many times did he slip up? Who calls his wife Michael?
I don't call my wife Michael. I ain't never called. What you do? Was you Felicia? I ain't never called you Frank on accident. Something ain't right, man. I don't care, man. I'm tired of it. It's just crazy, man. Y'all so soft out here.
Let's prove another one. Let's prove another one, babe.
It's crazy.
The Civil Rights Act.
You just played out.
No. I'm 2. I didn't push it.
The parts of the Civil Rights Act were great.
I was 3. I'm sorry, 3. My
they
fault.
commit more arsons. They commit more kidnappings. For example, blacks are 13% of the population, and they commit 58% of all the murders. That's not a war on drugs. That's a culture problem.
Okay, so let's talk about that culture. Black people have been legislatively subjugated up until
Naima got famous off of Charlie Kirk.
I'll give it, I mean, honestly, it's later, but let's just say 1965. You do not think that 10 generations of legislative subjugation and slavery during that time, 4,000 black men, women, and children are lynched as the result of race riots in this country? You do not think that these things have a lasting impact? We have had 10 generations of subjugation and 4 of legislative freedom.
Of course they have an impact, but it's more on you to explain why things got worse since the Civil Rights Act.
Exactly.
That's the
more
question.
Violent, less fathers around, poorer. Why is that?
We got to watch the clip.
Because of mass incarceration and the unfair criminal.
Okay, I like that, but I just want the point of this clip. I want people to jump into this when they get a chance to.
Yeah.
We can move on. The point of this clip is them clipping parts that they want to clip and push what they want to push.
Exactly.
He asked the question. He said, of course.
Yes.
Of course, 10 generations of slavery. Of course, there was an issue. But why did things get worse during the civil acts?
No, why?
Why? Go ahead.
Why even under such heavy, when racism was truly a thing and it was prevalent in America, and specifically in the Jim Crow South led by the Democrats. And he's asking, even during those horrible times, why is it that still Black Americans were thriving? They were not murdering one another like wild animals. You know, the schools were intact.
You want to push play because there's other contributing factors.
Yes, go ahead.
Organization of black men.
But let's just take murders for example. Why blacks are 13% of the population and commit 58% of the murders? Why is that?
This right here.
Because people in affluent and whiter neighborhoods are not being policed at the same rate. There are more police.
I'm talking about dead bodies. There's no, like, we're not.
It's uncomfortable to hear that because it's the truth.
It's the truth.
And so what I'm trying to tell people is because he's saying it doesn't make him a racist. Because he's telling you the facts does not make him a racist. Just because he's asking the question in the debate does not make him a racist. If you put out facts, he's just saying, hey, why is 13% of the population committing 58% of the violent crimes, the murder?
Exactly.
Tell me why. I mean, I could tell you why, but tell me why.
And another thing that I had said this on my live on Facebook a few days ago, but no one holds the exclusive right to genocide.
That's right.
No one holds the exclusive right on mass murder when an entire people is succumbing to death and destruction. And so that's another thing that is a disease that has completely plagued the Black communities. That if you're not Black, if you don't have the same skin color as I, you don't have the right. That is a lie straight from the pits of hell.
That's right.
And if you are a man and woman of God and you see genocide, you see your fellow man and fellow woman falling and dying by a brutal sword, then you better speak up and speak out what this man did. And y'all killed him for it.
Yeah, so it's wild because Black folks are killing each other. We're killing each other outside of the womb. We're killing each other in the womb.
Yes.
With abortion.
Yes.
Chicago.
Yes.
Detroit. All the major cities. I grew up in Detroit. I know what it was like. I know it was growing up in the environment where the way beef got settled was through gunplay.
Yeah.
If it was a disagreement, it got settled through gunplay. No words, no communication. I understand the emotional turmoil and trauma that the young men are up under in the inner city. I understand that. And then the problem that we run into is that people who push these narratives, they understand it too. And so because you're not doing your research, because you don't even know the game that's being played.
And no one's asking the questions that these cities, that this is happening in, every aspect of the government is ran by Black people.
Let's talk about,
we got.
What about Jamal? You want to skip to that?
Yeah, so let's go to that.
Let's talk about what's that? What's your favorite pastor?
So I want to address. The wolves behind the pulpit. So let's get to it.
Go get to your guy.
Cannot say that the Civil Rights Bill should not have been passed and Black people were in a better place in the 1940s.
I'm sorry though, but then we just watched the clip on talking about what she said about the civil rights. We just watched that earlier. And we just watched earlier the whole clip. What actually transpired. But we're gonna watch Jamal Bryant say the headline and the punchline that got all you Black folks and you white liberals.
So what we have
feeling like Charlie Kirk's a racist. Watch what he does.
So what we have. Charlie Kirk telling the truth, giving facts and data.
We just watched it
and then he's going to lie. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to tell you how he is a liar and he's a fraud.
There you go. Let him know.
Okay, 7. No. Which one is that? Okay, go ahead. Yep.
Cannot say that the Civil Rights Bill should not have been passed and Black people were in a better place in the 1940s when they had segregation and did not have freedom. You cannot say in no uncertain terms that George Floyd was a thug and Martin Luther King Jr. is not deserving of a holiday. My heart is mourning today from pastors and churches all over this country who are going to have moments of silence and celebrate somebody who is trying to take the nation backwards.
I'm concerned about all of these Negro preachers who've been in fact talking about that this man that was killed was the answer to Christ in the earth. Y'all ain't saying that. They having moments of silence in Black churches all over the country over a man that was racist and a white supremacist. How dare you compare him to Martin Luther King? The only thing that Charlie, Chris, and Martin Luther King got in common is both of them was killed by a white man. After that, they got nothing else in common.
Okay. So here we go. So, this is what I got because for the sake of time, let me just give you guys some receipt. Okay. So let me just prove how spot on, how absolute in his facts and data that Charlie Kirk was giving, and how this man is a liar. And and let me tell you something. He is going to be dealt with. There is no way that the God that we serve, the God of heaven and earth, is going to continue to allow this man to sit on this perch and lead the multitude astray. But let me tell you, so when we clip this up, our show up, I'm going to put this article, we're going to put it in the link. But this is an article called from the American Thinker.
Okay.
And I'm just going to skip down. It says, okay, racism is the normal explanation for the decline of the black family, but that analysis does not hold up. Thomas Sowell, you guys, if you don't know who Thomas Sowell is, shame on you, go look him up. But Thomas Sowell has shown that the black family survived centuries of slavery and generations of Jim Crow, where most black children grew up in homes with two parents. In fact, when blacks were just one generation out of slavery, the census data, which means, guys, I'm going to pause. Census data mean there is receipts. There is documentation that you can find out and go look up. Let me keep going. The census data of that era showed that slightly higher percentage of black adults had married than had white adults. One would be hard-pressed to believe that race issues in America are bigger today than they were in the past. I'm going to keep going. Still, others look to socioeconomic discrepancies for difficulties within the black family. Again, Sowell's research shows that the particular culture or human capital available to a people has often had more influence on their economic level than their existing material wealth, natural resources, or individual geniuses. Even factoring for economic differences and severe social disadvantages, examples of a vibrant black family institution in Americas are too numerous to ignore. So this is where the hardcore data comes in. And again, this is census. This is something that you can go and research and look up. Okay. So here we go. This is something that this demon man has just said. And
the
the two Bengals. And you can't see it now, but with the man hips, right? The word on the street is that he got a lot of sugar in his tank, allegedly, right? So I'm going to keep spewing facts. In the 1890s, there were 4 public high schools in Washington, D.C., 1 black, the M Street School Dunbar High School, and 3 white. In 1899, Dunbar, that's the black school, averaged higher standardized test scores than students in 2 of the 3 white schools. From 1870 to 1955, Dunbar repeatedly equaled or exceeding performance on national standardized tests. I'm almost done. As late as 1910, more than 2/3 of the black population of Chicago lived in neighborhoods where most residents were white. In 1950, 72% of all black men and 81% of black women had been married. Every census, I'm going to repeat that. Every census from 1890 to 1950 showed that black labor force participation rates were higher than those of whites. Prior to the 1960s, the unemployment rate for Black 16 and 17-year-olds was under 10%. Before 1960, the number of teenage pregnancies had been decreasing. Both poverty and dependencies were declining, and Black income was rising in both absolute and relative terms to white income. And then I'm going to end with this. It goes on, and then it just asks, what Charlie Kirk has asked. This is his research. What happened? And then this article where we're going to post, it breaks down what happened. And it started in the 1960s, where you saw the equivalent that has been attached to this to understand just how catastrophic the welfare state has been to the Black community. The equivalent is that they said literally is like an atomic bomb placed in a city.
Let me give you some quick data.
That's how catastrophic it has been.
Data. You take the fathers out of the home, you replace fathers with the welfare state, you incentivize the mothers. You incentivize the mothers to not allow the fathers, because you incentivize the mothers because you can't get food stamps and welfare at this time if the father is in the home.
That is correct.
And if the father happens to get locked up
that
or
is
go to jail
crisis.
in a penitentiary.
Fatherlessness, yes.
And they can't come back into the home. So now you have subsidized living. So you have all these combinations. And guess where it was plagued and guess where it was pushed from? Your fellow Democrats.
Black.
That's pushing the same thing that they're pushing today.
And it makes it worse. It was all intentional. It was a plan to destroy.
Yeah.
For the sake of time, so we have to get to this. And we're not going to play this entire, but you need to see these wolves in the pulpits. Hold on. Okay, so that's 4.
Overwhelmed.
Here we go.
With folk who call themselves Christian because they invoke the name of Jesus and quote Bible from the Old Testament, but never live like Jesus, never love like Jesus, never talk like Jesus, never put their arms around folk like Jesus, never have any fruit of the Spirit, never try to live out the Sermon on the Mount. I am overwhelmed.
Look how many he's leading astray.
And then these hypocrites with selective rage who are mad about Charlie Kirk but didn't say anything about Melissa Hortman and her husband when they were gunned down in their living room. Tell me that I ought to have compassion for the death of a man who never showed compassion or respect for my life. Y'all, there's nowhere in Bible we are told to honor evil.
Wow. We're done. Okay, so here. So this is okay. So I've actually brought this book out before. So I'm gonna read something then it's gonna blow your mind. Okay, so this book again is called Color, Communism, and Common Sense. Really quickly, it is a Black man at the turn of the century in the early 1900s that rose through the ranks, one of the few Black men or women that actually rose through the ranks within the Communist Party. He held rank, he held say-so, and then he was born again, and he, what we call today, he became a whistleblower, okay? You must read this book. It is the playbook of what's really happening in the Black community. So I'm going to read you just a few passages from chapter 2. And the name of chapter 2 is Subverting Negro Churches. I repeat, Subverting Negro Churches, okay? So, hold on, let me see where else. Okay. It says, fortunately, the overwhelming majority, you know what? I want to put that up here. Hold on. Let me put that up here. 5. So I want them to be able to, yeah, there we go. I want them to be able to read along. There we go. Okay. It says, fortunately, the overwhelming majority of Negroes in whose name the communists and their ilk presume to speak have not fallen for the blandishments. You know what? Let me start down because for the sake of time, I want to get straight to the meat.
Yeah, get to the meat.
Yeah. Only after the order came from Moscow in the 1934-35 period to win over the Negro intellectual by deceptive flattery and adulation did the Reds' public attitude toward them change. So even back then, they were known as easily manipulated and selling out. You can buy them with a drop in the bucket. That's the Martin Rollins and the Joy Reids, okay? That crew.
I got you.
Okay, let's continue on. The Kremlin concluded that the superficial phonies could serve the cause of communism. Can't make it up. A large number of Negro ministers are all for the communists. Some are prominent and influential, and others are run of the mill. They in common believe. Check this out, that beating the racial drums is a shortcut to prominence, money, and the realization of personal ambition, even if the Negro masses are left prostrate and bleeding expendables in the mad scramble for power. We cannot make this up. Okay, let's keep going. Well, no, what do you want to say, babe?
No, I'm just saying, like, I think that we should just tell them, read the article, and then close out with the reality of, if you want to sum that up, just let them know where to get the book, where to read the article, and close it up.
Okay. So let me end with this, okay? Because this is really good.
It is good.
Okay, I have to end with this. Okay, so application of the new line embarked the communist. So this may not be on there, Isaiah, or maybe. Application of the new line embarked the communists on era of outstanding success in infiltrating and penetrating the Negro church. White ministers acting as missionaries, using the race angle as bait, aided in the cultivation of Negro ministers for work in the Red Solar System of organization. Listen, bribery through gifts, paid lectures, flattery through long applause at stage rallies, favorable mention in the Red-controlled press were not the only methods employed to corrupt the Negro ministers.
That's right.
The use of sex and perversion as a means of political blackmail was an accepted Red tactic.
Basically, they're doing the same thing today. It's just the concept that was laid out. It's the blueprint that was laid out.
It's a literal lineage.
That's right.
It's a literal pipeline, and where they get the black people is through the black colleges, particularly, and it speaks about this in the book, Howard. What college did Roly Poly come from? Howard. It's a breeding ground.
Shout out to the positive parts of Howard. But what we're trying to tell you guys is with the playbook.
That he eats really good?
With the playbook.
He lacks for nothing.
Yeah, that's true. It's the playbook. I think at the end of the day,
enough is enough.
I think I want to close with a Bible verse.
Okay.
I think I want to close.
I need some Jesus right now. That's real talk.
You need. So I really want to close with Romans 12:2. Okay. Do not be conformed to this age, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may discern what is good, pleasing, and the perfect will of God.
Amen. And I'm going to read also Romans chapter 1. This is going to be from the Holman Christian Standard Bible, both versions, both books. But Romans chapter 1, verses 28 through 32 reads, "And because they did not think it worthwhile to acknowledge God, God delivered them over to a worthless mind to do what is morally wrong. They are filled with all unrighteousness, evil, greed, and wickedness. They are full of envy, murder, quarrels, deceit, and malice. They are gossips, slanderers, God haters, arrogant, proud, boastful, inventors of evil, disobedient to parents, undiscerning, untrustworthy, unloving, and unmerciful. Although they know full well God's just sentence that those who practice such things deserve to die, they do not only do them, but even applaud others who practice them.
Hey, man.
That's the word of God.
That's not us.
That is not taken out of context.
Hey, man, sir, it's a real life what's going on.
Yeah.
But shout out to all my people out there. We love y'all. We still love y'all. And shout out to my cousins and all my crazy family members. I love y'all. I just want to get y'all right, get y'all locked up, because there's going to be two lines. And I'm going to be in one line. And y'all going to be trying to call me in the other line. And I ain't got nothing to do with it at that point. It's going to be way too late. So I'm trying to get y'all in the same line I'm going to, because the line I'm going to lead directly to the pearly gates. I'm just saying.
But it's narrow.
I'm trying to get y'all to heaven.
But it's narrow, and the road to the destruction is broad.
Trying to get y'all to heaven, man.
On it. We are. Yeah,
So,
we are.
Much love.
Until next time.
Yeah, peace out.
If you want to see more of this content, like, subscribe. And even if you don't like this content, at least comment and share.